everyone. Welcome to episode number 11 of Mrs. Bale's Book List podcast. Today I'm going to review Hunted, a fantasy novel by Meagan Spooner. Here we go. Hunted is a fairy tale retelling, a new spin on the Beauty and the Beast story. I'll come right out and admit that this book was a little bit on the slow side, and because of that, it may not keep the interest of a lot of middle grade readers. But I stayed engaged largely because of my curiosity of how the author was going to give one of my favorite fairy tales a spin. The storyline is more similar to the Beauty and the Beast folk tale of Russian origin, as opposed to the Disney version. It's a very dark change-up from the sing-song tale we all know and love. In Hunted, Yeva, aka Beauty, is a young woman who doesn't feel happy following the traditional roles of women in her town. Think the time of the barons in snow-packed Russia, not wildflower-covered sunny French countryside. But it's not because she reads too much, it's because she prefers to be in the woods, hunting, providing for her family. When a series of unfortunate events leads her into the woods, searching for her father, she realizes just a little too late that she is the one being hunted by the fearsome beast her father had gone mad trying to kill. After being attacked and imprisoned by the beast, Yeva spends a lot of time in a dark, cold cell trying to figure out why she's being held there, yet also being fed and helped by an unknown ally. Little by little, she gains more and more freedom and puts the very confusing pieces together about who this beast is. In this twist, though, she isn't so much falling in love with him most of the time, nor is the beast trying to woo her. She's plotting her revenge. Meanwhile, the beast is training Yeva to be able to hunt the creature that holds the key to releasing the beast from his curse. No magic rose in this one, folks, although other magical creatures do make their way into the story. Like I said, this one percolates slowly, and it ends rather abruptly, and overall I wouldn't say I loved it, but for middle school or high school readers who like a twist on a classic, it's entertaining. I found the ending a little bit confusing since the characters are woven into a second layer of fairy tale that is a big part of Yeva and the Beast's story. And even Yeva's character says she stopped trying to understand it, which I thought was frustrating, almost like the author herself conceded that the ties didn't all make perfect sense. But anyway, glad it wasn't just me. The overarching moral kids might glean from this fairy tale is that happiness doesn't happen to you. Instead, happiness is a choice. You can choose to live your life always chasing the next desire, never truly being happy at any given point, no matter how much you've achieved. Or you can choose to see the beauty where you are, finding contentment in each set of circumstances. A worthy discussion and thought to ponder for middle graders. Here's the details on appropriateness factors, and heads up, there might be some spoilers in here. Romance and sexual content. I was delighted that there was never anything sexual going on, despite several suitors pursuing Yeva and her sisters, and of course the eventual interest between Yeva and the Beast. The Gastons of the story were actually very decent men, with the best interests of the women at heart. The romantic affection between Beauty and the Beast that does eventually develop goes no further than a kiss and fast heartbeats. The epilogue describes them happily staying together in the spare room at Yeva's sisters' homes, but when the sisters ask if they plan to get married, they haven't considered it and don't necessarily plan to. It's kind of like, maybe, maybe not, wherever the wind blows us. So that was a little bummer in my mind, but nothing is explicitly stated that ever brings sexual content onto the page. There's a magical character who's both a woman and a dragon, whose woman form is naked, but she's never described in finer detail than that. Language. Only one damn that I can recall in the whole book, and even then the speaker apologized for it. Violence. The focus on hunting in this book definitely gives it a violent edge. Yeva and her father bring forest creatures home for dinner. Yeva is searching for her father and finds a bloody scene she assumes to be the site at which the beast killed her father. The beast attacks Yeva, breaking some ribs, but then brings her things to help her heal, and later somewhat inadvertently throws her dog against a tree, breaking its leg, which also heals. Yeva gets ill as the beast holds her prisoner, but then he brings her to a warmer location once he figures it out. Yeva attempts to kill the beast via stabbing, but learns his curse prevents him from dying, so he heals and reveals to Yeva that he has already tried to end his life, to end the curse, unsuccessfully. A magical creature tries to drown Yeva at one point. So you see, definitely not a sing-song version of The Beauty and the Beast. The violence and darkness factor is what discerning readers or parents and teachers should consider in their decision to pick this one up. In my opinion, this book contains nothing that kids wouldn't find in Harry Potter, The Hunger Games, Twilight, etc., in terms of otherworldly violence. Take care, friends. Happy reading. Thank you so much for listening today. As always, you can find show notes and the web version of Mrs. Bale's book list at KristenEmilyBale.com. That's Kristen with an E and Bale with a B-E-H-L. May God bless your day.